Well, one of the biggest fights of all time is finally here. Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. After 5 years of delays and the fight's not going to happen, it's going to happen. It finally happened. And there was two sets of people watching this fight. The general public, who I had a lot of friends who don't really follow boxing. They watched this fight and they were pretty disappointed. They just saw it as one person running and the other person trying to catch him and not being able to catch him. Um, but true boxing fans, I think if you look at what people like Lennox Lewis said about this fight, you'll see that true boxing fans, they expected, from what history has shown, with Pacquiao going into this fight with 5 losses and Mayweather being the best technical boxer in the world and Pacquiao having problems with technical boxers, they expected Floyd to be too sharp and Manny's only real chance being if he catches Floyd with a good punch. If it goes a distance, it's going to be Floyd. A lot of people said Manny has to do one of two things. He either needs to knock him out in the first 4 rounds before Floyd gets a chance to really figure him out, or Pacquiao has to throw over 800 punches to stand the chance of winning this fight. Now, Pacquiao didn't. He threw less than 500 punches. He actually got outthrown by Mayweather, which was a pretty interesting thing to have happened. Um, you know, at the end of the day, a few complaints about Mayweather holding. I don't think Mayweather held nowhere near enough to be, cautioned or to be threatened with taking a point off. Yes, Mayweather did hold, but nowhere near enough where people would consider it a real caution or anything along those lines. Not only did Floyd throw 6 more punches than Pacquiao, he actually outlanded him 148 to 81. Floyd's connect percentage was at 34%, Manny Pacquiao's was at 19%. Floyd outjabbed him 67 to 18. The jab was key. He kept it in Pacquiao's face for a lot of the fight. Power punches, he outlanded him 81 to 63. That connect percentage for power punches was 48% for Floyd Mayweather and 27% for Manny Pacquiao. And, at the end of the day, the judges gave it 118, 110, 116, 112, 116, 112. I had it a little bit closer at 117, 112 than the first judge. But at the end of the day, the fight went pretty much exactly how I thought it would go. It went pretty much how I think any boxing fan who didn't buy into the hype, who didn't buy into all the bullshit about, this is going to be the fight of the century and, it's going to be Hagler Hearns. The people who knew how Floyd fights, who'd seen Floyd fight and who appreciate the art of boxing, they expected this to happen with Manny standing a chance of catching him because of his speed and power, maybe a better chance than anyone else. But to be honest with you, I think Miguel Cotto, Oscar De La Hoya, Marcus Maidana in the first fight, Jose Luis Castillo, Zab Judah, I think there were a lot of other people who given Floyd Mayweather a closer fight and a better fight than what Manny Pacquiao did. I was pretty surprised with Manny Pacquiao's tactics. They seem to have no plan B. He didn't do anything he hasn't done in his other fights. They didn't change anything up. It was the same Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. If anything, the only thing that surprised me about Pacquiao was that he didn't throw nowhere near as many punches as people said he'd need to try and win the fight. But Floyd kept him at the end of the jab in some of the rounds and outboxed him and counted him well. And I give Pacquiao credit. He did rock him in the 4th round. It wasn't, Floyd wasn't close to going down. He went in the corner, covered up, got out of it. He hurt him again. I believe it was in the 8th round. But that was pretty much it. You can count Pacquiao's little bursts of successions on one hand, whereas Floyd, when Pacquiao wasn't having success, Floyd was pretty much dictating the fight and having it how we wanted to have it. I don't think Manny done himself many favors after the fight. First of all, saying he thought he won the fight. I mean, you have to be pretty delusional to think that a guy can throw more than you, land almost double as much as you, and you still deserve to win the fight. I don't understand that at all. I lost a bit of respect with his excuses after that, and then he was saying, his shoulder was hurting him. You know what? Floyd Mayweather had injuries to both of his hands. There was rumors about it going into the fight. Floyd confirmed it after the fight. So if Manny wants to come out and say his shoulder hurt, that's fine. Floyd can say both of his hands hurt. So no fighter goes into any boxing match unscathed. They always go in carrying some sort of injury. And both the punch stats and the judges and all the commentators from all the broadcasts that I've watched clearly had Mayweather winning this fight. I really like what the HBO commentator done when he was interviewing Pacquiao after the fight. He said to him, you know, why do you think you won this fight? We all had Floyd comfortably ahead. But at the end of the day, a lot of boxing fans that I had that were just regular, casual boxing fans who only tune in to the big fights, those fans were disappointed because, you know, they expected a, a competitive match and they expected a Rocky movie. And for boxing purists, they know that Floyd Mayweather is not going to give you that. Floyd Mayweather is not going to take a risk. He doesn't need to. He's too technically good. He's too technically superior to Pacquiao. It would be stupid of him to. You know, not only that, Floyd's knockout power is not that great. He's got less than a 60% knockout power. He hasn't had a stoppage since Victor Ortiz, which was a very, very questionable knockout for anyone who's seen it. And before that, you'd have to go all the way back to the Ricky Hatton fight before he knocked someone out. So Floyd done what Floyd needed to do to make the fight easy and win. And Floyd done what any smart fighter would have done. And, you know, for casual boxing fans, it was a letdown of a fight, but for technical boxing fans, people who appreciate the art of boxing, it was yet another masterclass by Floyd Mayweather. You know, he said he was better than Ali. I'm not going to go into that in great detail at the moment, but what I will say is Ali lost numerous fights. Ali was down on the deck, whereas Mayweather he's not lost any, and he's never been down. Questionably against Judah, he touched down, but he's never been down in the same fashion that Ali went down. But that's a whole different argument and needs a much longer discussion than the 8-9 minutes that we're going to take on this fight. But the outcome of this fight, I don't think there's any dispute in anyone's mind. I think anyone who didn't buy into the hype and who turned off the commentary, turned off the crowd noise, and just watched the fight would have easily given it to Floyd. And even before the fight, anyone who sat down and really thought about it would have kind of known that Floyd Mayweather was going to win this fight. There was only going to be one way that the fight was really going to go unless he got caught. And, you know, Floyd showed, I mean, he's been hit by heavy, you know, people that are naturally heavier than him. When Mosley tagged him clean on the chin, he came back and started dominating at the end of the very same round. Um, you know, the hype has been laid to rest. It was definitely a letdown in terms of, you know, for the casual boxing fans. The amount of text messages I got from people going, oh, that was boring, or, you know, oh, one man came to fight, the other man came to run. You know what? It's not it's not a brawl, it's a boxing match. One man boxed, the other man tried to brawl him. A great boxer will always be a great fighter slash brawler any day of the week. Floyd knew that, and that's what Floyd had to do in order to win the fight. I think Floyd's dad, Floyd Sr. in the corner, even got a bit, even started to buy into the crowd noise a little bit. He told Floyd at one stage, I believe it was round 5 or 6, he told Floyd, he said to him, look, man, I just don't know what you're doing. He's like, you're just, you know, what's wrong with you? And I was thinking to myself, man, if I was Floyd, I'd be like, shit, maybe there is something wrong with me, or maybe, you know, doubt will start creeping into his head. But then again, no one knows Floyd better than his own family, so, you know, maybe he knew what Floyd needed to hear in order to step it up. But in round 11 and 12, you know, Floyd ran in round 12, of course he did. He knew he was way ahead on the scorecards, and even though he ran, he landed 8 punches, Pacquiao landed 4 punches, you know. And a lot of people said Pacquiao needs to get him out of there in the first 4 rounds. Floyd's going to take the first 4 rounds to try and figure him out. A lot of the judges had Floyd winning 3 of the first 4 rounds, you know, and so did I. Floyd only really got hurt in that 4th round, and the rest of the rounds were pretty clear. So there you have it, the $85,000 a ticket for ringside seats. Fight of the century was, you know, pretty disappointing. I think I managed to stay somewhat calm leading up to this fight, knowing what the reality would be, that Floyd is more than likely just going to outbox him, and it's not going to be, you know, this exciting fight. Floyd was never going to go toe-to-toe with someone with Manny's power. You know, he did stay on the ropes once or twice when I felt like it wasn't necessary, but other than that, Floyd just outboxed him. You know, there's an argument to give Manny 3, maybe 4 rounds, but definitely wasn't a contentious decision. And at the end of the day, Floyd Mayweather proves once again why he's the best fighter of our generation by far, and his market and team deserve a hell of a big round of applause. This is a fighter who not so long ago couldn't sell out a 5,000-seat arena in Michigan, his hometown. And since then, it's come such a long way and made so much money because of his marketing team. Well done, Floyd.